Hey guys, Prowl1701 here, and today we're going to talk about Fury from the Deep. I was attempting to rewatch Fury from the Deep because I wanted to do a review on the black and white version of the story. Now, I did a review on Fury from the Deep when it first came out, and I'm pretty sure I watched the color version and the black and white version before I did the review, so I've seen both, but for some reason the color version is the one that sticks in my head, and I think the story's better in black and white, so I wanted to just watch the black and white version and have it fresh in my mind. The problem is I didn't make it all the way through it. I literally made it through the first episode. I watched the first episode. I was about to watch the second episode, and I got like partly through the opening credits, and I just paused it and was like, I can't. I just can't. The animation is so bad. When I was watching the first episode, I was just mentally complaining about the animation the whole time. This looks bad. This looks bad. This looks bad. I don't like this. Why is this? Mostly, it's the character animation. I don't like the very comic look of it. Like the black outline of the characters is too thick. It's like blatantly bloated thick. Like if you look at the little black outline around their hands, it's massive, like it was drawn with a marker. It's huge, unlike the other animations where it isn't. It's so noticeable. It's like kind of like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. It's so many steps back from the others, and I just hate it. Now the backgrounds look gorgeous. The backgrounds look very nice. They look photorealistic at times. They look really well done of themselves. Like when you see the shots of the base, looks beautiful. But with them going with those realistic backgrounds, it looks really weird when you have these very cartoon drawn characters interacting with these backgrounds. It looks off. It doesn't look like they go together. It's like the closest thing I can think to compare it to is like the CSO screen work on classic Doctor Who. If you've ever seen some of the classic Doctor Who episodes that use CSO, you know it looks off. It looks weird. Think the evil teddy bear from Terror of the Autons, or some of the scenes in The Green Death. As good as The Green Death is, some of those scenes, like when they're driving the car, it's very obviously CSO work. Underworld is the pinnacle of this, is the embodiment of this. There's a reason why Underworld is so badly thought of. I personally like Underworld. I think the story is very sound, but the CSO work, when they're in the caves and everything, is just so bad. And there's something about CSO work when you have a person interacting with the background. Your mind sees it's not real, and it looks so off. You ever notice that the CSO work? That's why it looks so bad. Is because it looks off. It doesn't look natural. It looks weird. Excuse me. My sinuses are really up. It looks really weird, really off, and this can put you off to the story. It's the same thing here. Having these very, very cartoony drawn characters with the exaggerated outlines interacting in these realistic backgrounds at times looks weird. It doesn't belong. I actually prefer the more cartoon backgrounds in some of the other stories because at least the cartoon models match the cartoon backgrounds and it looks natural, like they go together. Here it doesn't look like they go together. And then again, they get Troughton all wrong. Like his face when it's in that 3/4 angle looks really weird. It doesn't look like Troughton. The animation models for Power, Macra Terror, and Faceless Ones look way better. It just looks wrong here. I don't feel like I'm watching Troughton. Some of the way Troughton moves, like when he shredded his shoulders one time, looks weird. Sometimes when they're laughing at the beginning, it looks weird. They don't look natural. Like when Troughton's laughing one time, I'm like, he looks like he's retarded. Like genuinely. I don't mean that as in he looks bad. He looks like he has a mental defect. I have the same problem with Mr. Oak. Anytime I see Mr. Oak, he just looks like he has an IQ of 70. The way they draw him, he looks very special. Is that what you're supposed to say now? Is that the politically correct way to put it? He looks special. And the animation doesn't communicate these characters properly. When I see Troughton doing this, or putting his hands on his hips, I'm like, that Troughton doesn't do that. That doesn't look right. That's not Troughton. and it takes me out of the story. Literally, I made it through the first episode, and I couldn't. And I was trying to watch it just for the point of doing another review on it, and I was so disappointed. I have so many complaints with the animation that I can't finish it. And I love the other animations, and I love the story to Fury from the Deep. I really love the surviving footage of it that survives. It looks beautiful. It's a great story. It is the one story where the animation truly holds it back from being just one of Troughton's best. I think I'd rather just listen to the audio of it. But yeah, that was my plan, to watch all of it, and I failed. I was so just mentally complaining in my head about the animation the whole time that I didn't make it all the way through it. What do you think of Fury from the Deep? How does it stack to the rest of the animations in your mind? I'd really like to hear a lot of y'all kind of list the order you like the animations. I've already done a video where I ranked the animations. Fury was at the bottom. So I would really like to hear kind of what you think on the animations, on how they're going. Now, like, if Fury had come out after the original version of Power and before the faceless ones, I wouldn't mind so much, because you could kind of see it progressing, getting better. As it is, I feel like it went backwards. Like, I think the original Powers was pretty good. And then we got Macroterras, which is amazing. I love Macroterra. They really need to get that Sun and Moon Studios back, because they're phenomenal. Macroterra is the baseline now. That's the bench. That's where they need to be. That or better. And then Faceless ones came out, and I felt like it was a step or two back. It's still good. I'm fine with it. I can perfectly work with it. I don't really mind it. I just felt like Macros was a little better. And then the Power of the Daleks Special Edition's really good. Still not quite up there with Macroterror, but right there with Faceless ones. I'm fine with it. I enjoy the Special Edition of Power. And then Fury came out, and Fury just seems like so much backpedaling. Like so many steps back. Like a completely different direction that I don't understand how they go from Macra and Faceless ones and the Power Special Edition to like down here. I don't understand how that happens. Maybe it's a different director. I don't know, but I didn't like the choices made for that animation. Now, I am very excited about the Web of Fear animation and that 3D look that it looks like they're going to have from Episode 3. I loved the trailer for it. So I'm going to wait for that to come out, and then I'll judge it compared to the rest then. So anyway, this has been just me talking about, basically complaining more about Fury from the Deep's animation, and the fact that I honestly wanted to do another watch through of it and couldn't get past the first episode. So comment down below, let me know what you guys think. You know, I'm always happy to interact with you guys. I always enjoy talking to y'all. Other things to do: click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. I started a Patreon page if anybody would like to contribute to that and help me with that. But most importantly, stay safe out there.